Good morning, students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Avril Kulasu, and I'm an associate lecturer at Curtin University, Dubai. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the grand finale of the DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2021, presented by Curtin University and proudly sponsored by the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority and the Transnational Academic Group. We would now like to request everyone to please stand up for the UAE and Australian national anthems. Making it to the top 11 in a nationwide competition is no easy feat. You have all challenged 167 teams with close to 1,000 students from the UAE. You all have made it here today by providing rather interesting, realistic, and effective solutions with the help of your teachers to successfully compete for the coveted DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2021 trophy. A job well done indeed, teams. While we recognize your progress this far, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all the other teams that worked just as hard throughout the rounds. The Business Cup Challenge is designed to test your skills and zeal, and we are very impressed by the sportsmanship showcased by each one of the participating teams working hard to make it to the top. While the spirit of the competition remains high, we, the organizers of the competition, hope that you have all had a great learning experience and take the learnings from the past few weeks to prepare for what the future has in store for each of you. So raise your hands, pat yourself and your teammates on the back, because you all deserve a cheer for the nail-biting competition you have put up. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. Our title sponsor, the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, and our industry partner, Transnational Academic Group. Please put your hands together for them. We are grateful for your unending support, sponsors. The time has come to introduce our panel of judges for DEWA's BCC Grand Finale. Our esteemed judge representing the DEWA is Engineer Jayakumar Vandavasi Karunamurthy. He is the head of IoT at DEWA R&D, responsible for building the IoT lab, data lake platform for various IoT user cases to support the Space D program, and the DEWA business unit. He earned his master's degree in applied electronics from Anna University and has 26 years of experience in medical equipment, research and development, subsea telemetry system development, IoT solution architecture on smart cities, asset and energy management areas. He got the Young Scientist Award from the Government of India for his invention of low-cost tsunami warning systems. He has developed 15 physical products like medical equipment, ROV, and industry products, 10 end-to-end IoT solutions, and 60 resources in various industries. Engineer Jayakumar has nearly 5 journal papers, 10 conference papers, and 1 patent. Welcome, sir. It is an honor having you with us.
Thank you.
Our next judge for the round is Mr. Saleh Ismail. Mr. Saleh is a lecturer in the School of IT and Engineering. He is currently pursuing his doctoral research in cloud computing. His research interests include cybersecurity, Internet of Things, cloud computing, and the semantic web. He graduated with a distinction in his MSc in Computer Systems Management from Heriot-Watt University. He received his BSc Honours in Information Technology from the University of Bedfordshire. Before academia, he worked in the industry in various posts, including IT Manager, Technology Officer, and Database Administrator, and he has also sat on the advisory board for tech startups. He has received awards for excellence in cybersecurity, including the prestigious Dubai Electronic Cybersecurity Innovation Award. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Ismail. Leading the panel today is the game master himself, Mr. Daniel Atkins. Mr. Daniel is the Chief Executive Officer of Transnational Academic Group Middle East. Dan began his career working in the information technology industry. During his 20 years in the IT industry, he performed IT services for companies including IBM, Dell, Clorox, Philips, Hershey's, Coca-Cola, and Visa. For the past 13 years, Dan has been a lecturer and an academic director in various universities. He will be taking you through the criteria of the competition in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, could we all please extend a very warm welcome to our judges and distinguished guests. Please note that if a team is not online, when your name is called out, we will give you only one more chance to present at the end. I would now like to invite Mr. Daniel Atkins to announce the finalists and officially open the grand finale of the DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2021.
Great. Thank you so much, Avril. I very much appreciate it. It has been a fantastic competition. We had nearly 1,000 students and 168 schools or teams participating. And we got some incredibly creative solutions over the first 3 case studies. There were some truly innovative ideas that were developed by the teams and some really powerful business cases put forward. And as you know, that gave us our top 5 teams who made it directly into the finals. Then last weekend, we held the semifinals where all of the remaining teams had the opportunity to do an elevator pitch, giving an idea for an IoT-based business. Now, we were expecting that we would come out of that with 5 more finalists to participate in this grand finale. But the competition was incredibly fierce, and we ended up with a tie for first and a tie for 5th. So we now have 6 additional finalists joining the 5 who had already made it. So at this point, we have 11 teams competing for the coveted DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2021. The teams will be given exactly 10 minutes to present. The teams are allowed to present in any way that they would like to. They can join and just talk through their idea. They can present a PowerPoint or a Prezi. They can even have recorded their idea in the form of a video, which will be played. Our MC, Ms. Everett, will give a countdown of 3 seconds before they begin. Then they will have exactly 10 minutes. At the end of 10 minutes, an alarm bell will go off. We won't stop the students from speaking, but the judges have been instructed not to pay attention to anything said after the 10 minutes. So it's very important, teams, make sure you get within that 10 minutes. Just as in the first 3 cases, you are going to be judged on the creativity of the idea, the relationship to DEWA and the specific business case you were given, the feasibility of the idea, both from a technical feasibility and a market feasibility standpoint, the ability to make or save money, the financial plan that you present, including the break even, and how you do in the pestle analysis. We're scoring out of 100 points, and at the end of the day, the top 3 teams score-wise will receive the grand prize, first runner-up, and second runner-up. The 11 teams in order of performance, but do not take this as order of their qualifying scores, are United WIS, WIS Entrepreneurs, Product Pushers, the Ringmasters, Passwords, Meta, Falcon Vision, Celestium, Cyberphobia, Alpha I, and Dr. Frost. And despite how good you have done in the previous rounds, when we get to the grand finale, we wipe the slate clean. Everyone has exactly the same opportunity. It all comes down to what you do today. So with that, I wish you all the best, and I turn it back to Ms. Everett.
Thank you, Mr. Dan. Before we proceed, I would like to request the first 5 teams in the same order of announcement to be ready for the presentation. Teams, please keep an eye on the chat box for coordination messages from the BCC coordinators. Once again, the first 5 teams are United WIS. The second one is WIS Entrepreneurs. The third one is Product Pushers. The fourth being the Ringmasters, and the fifth being the Passwords. Teams, are we ready to compete? Great. Let's get started. Can we please have Team United WIS from GEMS Wellington International School to begin the presentation? Please remember, we will ring the bell at 8 minutes and interrupt you at 10 minutes. But points conveyed post 10 minutes will not be considered for marking.
Excuse me.
Okay. I'm hoping all the team is ready.
Excuse me. Could you add one of my teammates as a panelist? Her name is Arushi Bohra.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
BCC coordinator will do that. Can you confirm if your team member has been added?
Yes, just give me a second.
Sure.
Yeah. Do I have permission to share my screen because we're doing a presentation?
You should be having permission to share your screen, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Team United WIS, you may start in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, fellow panelists, judges, and fellow students. The total consumption of electricity by the commercial sector of Dubai has reached approximately 22 terawatt hours. The number of electricity consumers has also reached around 916,000 in the same year. Therefore, it's quite high demand for electricity in Dubai. For electricity usage, the more people in a household, the higher the cap of electricity. There could also be surveys that are taken from each household to gauge the appliances which take up the most energy by adults in the household. They can list the appliances which they use. These surveys would be anonymous to prevent any bias that would hinder the validity of the results. This could then be sent to the DEWA app, where percentages of electricity of each appliance could be monitored, and there could be solutions of how to solve these issues. For instance, DEWA can work with these businesses that take up the most percentage of electricity in order to manufacture more environmentally friendly products. Besides that, sensors could be installed across households in order to track electricity usage, and these motion sensors could switch off lights if there's lack of movement detected or any other appliances. The sensors could display the history of the heating and cooling happening in the house, as well as slides to the users in order to track their electricity usage. Water and electricity consumption can be subsequently tracked on the DEWA bill. The DEWA bill's data could then be transferred to the DEWA app, where statistics of each household in Dubai's usage would be displayed, as well as graphs over time to monitor progress of consumption for benefiting the environment.
There will also be calculations of carbon footprint of each household only based on electricity and water usage. This could be linked to an energy cost calculator where equations could be inputted to determine the energy costs they need to pay, in which is calculated from the estimated energy used per hour and used per day. If the households wish, these calculations could be sent to them in order to provide and to improve electricity usage. This is sufficient because it shows the process of the calculations to aid the consumers to better comprehend their costs because of the increase in reliability and validity. Subsequently, because of the costs and prices would be shown of each appliance's usage, it provides a better incentive for consumers to reduce their electricity usage in order to reduce costs. Additionally, workers don't have to spend their time looking at any water electricity meters, and the calculations would also be more accurate and produce more detailed results and reports. Moreover, energy cost calculations would be immediately viewed on the DEWA app, calculated automatically because of the trackers that would be placed on the appliances themselves. The overall cost of an electricity meter is 200 DH, which is more expensive and costly than the calculators. Therefore, it increases the profit margin for the workers and reduces the total production costs. Therefore, it increases the total revenue of DEWA. Any wasted water would then be transported to DEWA headquarters via trucks, where DEWA can filter it and utilize it for external fountains, production of other goods and services, etc. Our idea for the efficient electricity usage is installing motor sensors that detect physical movement. If no physical movement is detected, electronic appliances automatically start shutting off. So if there's no one at home, the lights would be automatically dimmed and soon after turned off after a specific amount of time set by the user. For example, a person sets the time to 1 hour. So if no physical movement is detected by the sensors within that hour, they would automatically be turned off along with a notification sent to the person through the DEWA app on their phone. Some households with children would have the option of children settings, where the app would adjust accordingly and give a warning before users to give permission to shutting devices off. At the end of each quarter, a carbon footprint graph will be sent to each house to show how much electricity and water they have used. There will be an alert if too much is being used, where if a house crosses that more than 3 times, they will need to pay extra to DEWA. The advantages are that people would become more conscious about the amount of electricity they are wasting. As misuse does come with consequences of paying extra, there will be a target set per family on how much electricity they can use, and if residents use equal or less than that amount, they will be given points from which they can get gift cards, extra benefits, rewards, and etc.
In the case of water, DEWA has used IoT as a form of live tracking and giving prices according to levels in order to reduce water consumption in Dubai. Despite this, 84% of UAE nationals waste water on a day-to-day basis. So, as a team, United Waste recommends the product EcoBath. We suggest DEWA install these houses to contribute to the water saving plan set up by the UAE government. The EcoBath system makes use of gray water by mixing it with fresh water. The flush tank is connected to a fresh water source as well as a sink. When gray water enters the tank, it is mixed with the same amount of fresh water. This 50-50 consistency keeps your toilet drains unclogged and also ensures that 50% of fresh water is saved in the process. Another establishment DEWA can acquire in a house unit is a live tracking display that demonstrates water taps, shower heads, and toilet usage. It is a highly convenient solution as the user will be able to see his live use of water consumption, and this could aid in reducing water consumption because it incentivizes the consumer to reduce any costs that they would be exhibiting. These technologies will be adapted with self-servicing technology. Self-servicing technology is efficient because it reduces customer support cost, and so subsequently, workers don't have to check the water meters. Furthermore, it creates a more interactive experience for customers. So, in cases of malfunctions, the technologies will do a basic run-through of servicing and a plumber to be hired if the situation escalates.
The strength of our electricity ideas are that people will be able to reduce their DEWA bills fees each month, and this will observe the data and see how much of their carbon footprint is, and also reduce the UAE's carbon emissions and improve the air quality. The opportunities that are faced are that consumers will less worry about their bills, and they will don't have to worry about it as much, and they can also worry on more important things. The UAE has already used sensors before in public bathrooms as types to make sure that water is being turned off and not being wasted. The strength of our idea, the water helps in the consumption, it will affect on a large scale, is that there are over 690,000 houses occupied with families. Even through it, there's a high internal cost. The taps, toilets will make its citizens learn about the water shortage crisis and encourage them to begin helping the DEWA in saving water. The solution is also effective against technological attacks, such as a virus, etc. This also saves energy and the heat is manipulated according to DEWA. Conclusion. Finally, DEWA may utilize the data from the surveys to work with the enterprise. They will use energy to find ways to consume less power and leave fewer carbon footprints, which will help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And you can trace your power and water consumption history with the DEWA app. And it will help inform how you can cut your usage using more conscious of your usage. Thank you.
Thank you, team. We now have our next team for the competition. Team WIS Entrepreneurs, are we ready? Team WIS Entrepreneurs, you may start in 3, 2, 1.
Can I have 2 minutes to share my screen? Just a second, please.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. Ready when you are, miss.
Have everyone tested their mics?
Yeah, am I audible?
A little louder, probably.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Okay. Are all your team members on?
Yeah.
Okay, we will begin in just a minute. I will give you the countdown. when we're ready to proceed. Okay, Team WIS entrepreneurs, you may start in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. I am a representative of the team WIS Entrepreneurs, and we will be presenting our idea for the DEWA Business Cup Challenge final. Being energy efficient is one of the most crucial aspects of a clean and sustainable environment. We would like to present DEWA with the idea of installing 2 completely new devices in our homes that can calculate the carbon footprint of the entire house and also measure and control our overall water usage and act as a reminder to reduce water consumption to a bare minimum. This would not only allow family members to recognize the amount of pollution and wastage they're causing, but also cut down on electricity and water usage as a result. The device will be connected to the power lines, the DEWA meter, in the house, and will make a record of the amount of energy that's being used. Consequently, it would sum up the amount and calculate the carbon footprint by only taking electricity into account and using the Zero Carbon app, which is embedded onto the sensor. The consumer can then make the changes accordingly as the app would be linked, and it will provide us with the respective data to help reduce our electricity usage. Similarly, the second device is a smart pressure controller that will be fitted onto the main water pipeline of the house. This can again be linked to our DEWA app and can be used to control the water pressure of the water entering the house. After conducting major research, we found that most water usage occurs due to the high water pressure in the taps. Thus, by reducing the water pressure on the taps in the house, we aim to reduce water wastage by around 15%. These ideas would overall help us attain our goal to reduce water and electricity wastage.
We think this solution would be feasible as it would help us refine the current system and use technology to our benefit to increase efficiency and productivity. The system is automated and thus the carbon footprint is recorded and the water pressure is controlled through the use of these devices. This makes it much easier compared to the current system where the workers need to go around checking the electric and water meters. The Zero Carbon app would also help increase consumer awareness and help them become conscious of the amount of electricity being used by them, thus helping them to reduce their energy consumption. The smart pressure controller automatically helps reduce water wastage by controlling the pressure. This is extremely convenient for the consumers because the water pressure is being controlled for them, and this is one of the most efficient ways to reduce the use of water.
The devices will be able to inform the consumer if they are exceeding their existing limit of usage of water and electricity. The consumer will then have to pay extra money on top of their DEWA bill. This will act as a reminder, and it will also promote people to save electricity and water as they would be saving money. At the same time, if the consumer is using less than their limit by a significant amount, then they will be awarded points that can be collected and redeemed against their DEWA bill. Overall, these factors will act as a marketing strategy among society as people will be interested in saving water and electricity due to their personal gain of saving money.
So this is a product demo. On the left side of the screen, you can see that there's a water pressure controller that will be imported from China and will be modified to our needs. So, and on this right-hand side, we can see screenshots of the Zero Carbon app that we have been talking about. This shows the analysis and the overall zero carbon footprint effect and what carbon footprint is. This app can be embedded onto the IoT sensor that will be placed onto our devices. So the financials of these products. So both products will be sold at a combined price of 500 dirhams, and the installation is optional, and a fees of 150 dirhams is applicable. The cost of production per unit is 20 dirhams, and the cost of the water pressure device is 44 dirhams per unit. The cost of the carbon footprint monitor is an app called Zero Carbon, which is available on the Play Store and the App Store. The number of units sold in total would be 2 million. This estimate is made through the number of DEWA meters all around UAE. The number of units produced per quarter would be 500,000. All wages and commissions are made in accordance to the labor laws in the UAE. The fees. The service fee will be charged of around 30 to 75 dirhams based on the meter type, in case you select an on-site visit and the meter is not faulty. The technician making the device would be paid 5,000 per month, and the mechanic who would be installing the device would be paid 100 dirhams per hour. VAT will be applicable and charged on the consumer. Technician's commission would be 10%, which is around 15 dirhams, and the mechanics will earn wages of 100 dirhams per hour. The electricians also earn a commission of 10%, which is 15 dirhams. And through approximations, we know that there'll be 5 installations per day. So the financial plan shows that the technicians would be earning 21,600 annually, and mechanics would be earning wages of 144,000 dirhams. Electricians and technicians would earn the same. And we'd have quality inspectors who would come in to check the quality of our products twice a year, and they'd be paid 200 dirhams. The cost of production would be around 40 million dirhams, and the inspection and maintenance cost would be 3,000 dirhams. Total expenses pile up to 40,190,400 dirhams annually. The budget of the DEWA is around 290 billion dirhams. The product cost, the revenue earned from the products sold is 4 billion dirhams, and the revenue earned from the installation piece is 1.2 billion. The total revenue amounts up to 2.8 billion dirhams. We have to exclude the number of people using installation services as that fluctuates with the revenue. This means the revenue is fluctuating based on consumer needs, and the revenue gross profit would be 2.7 billion dirhams. We expect to break even by the end of the year, as every citizen in Dubai has to buy our device as it is made mandatory by the government.
And of the features of this product support the UAE Vision 2021 national agenda, which focus on the improvement of quality of air, preserving water resources, increasing the contribution of clean energy, and implementing green growth plans. This would make it more comfortable to convince DEWA, a government organization, to take this product idea into consideration, which could lead to giving the city a good reputation. Since the UAE government have easy access to raw materials, there would be limited trade restrictions leading to lower tariffs.
This would also reduce unemployment, as initially, we would hire more people to help us make the product. Initially, consumers would have to pay slightly higher, which would reduce their disposable income in the short run. But in the long run, this would reduce their DEWA bill and reduce their carbon footprints as well. Our product is very affordable since we're selling it only for 500 dirhams, and it's helping consumers reduce their DEWA bill as well. Since DEWA is a government-based company, we aim to protect labor rights and make sure their working conditions are fine, along with the wages being paid.
Residents will benefit from the device because it raises awareness about water and electricity consumption. The device in use can monitor the quantity of power and water consumed, letting the user determine whether consumption is steady or needs to be lowered. Allowing it to be connected to the main power line would yield accurate findings and clear information on how it can minimize carbon emissions, benefiting both the user and the environment. It also helps with the monitor based on the usage compared to other residents who have similar houses and consumption patterns, as this is what works with DEWA's trends.
This IoT solution helps us eliminate the need for workers to go around checking electric and water meters. We are using this advanced technology to help to our advantage to help reduce the labor needed for this. The new technology makes it easier to minimize the use of electricity and can help consumers keep a track of their usage. By using the smart pressure controller, the water pressure can be controlled, which helps reduce water wastage. And this solution helps us use technology to our benefit and use it in an efficient way to help DEWA achieve its aim. This IoT solution is also extremely beneficial for the environment as it minimizes electric and water use in Dubai. The first device helps reduce the emission of greenhouse gases, and the consumers are made aware of the amount of electricity being used by showing them their carbon footprint on the Zero Carbon app. This would help consumers reduce their electricity use and thus reduce their carbon footprint. The second device helps to reduce water wastage by 15%. The high pressure of water in the taps is one of the main reasons for wastage of water, and thus by controlling this water pressure, the amount of water used can be minimized, and this would help conserve water and protect the environment.
Privacy would not be an issue because the user will be the only one receiving information about how much electricity is being consumed, allowing them to evaluate numbers and decide whether or not to reduce usage. Because the device is just connected to the main power line and measures the amount of electricity or water utilized, it is extremely safe to use. However, due to Dubai's limited water supply and necessity for conversion expenditures, an obligatory decision should be made to employ this technology. Additional costs are a cause as a result of increased usage. The same is true when it comes to electricity. It should be noted in the rules that if these are used excessively, additional fees will be charged.
SWOT analysis trends. So initially, we would be the only ones in the market. Our product would help protect the environment as less of electricity and water would be used. This would reduce consumers' DEWA bill, which would also increase their disposable income and make them more happy later. This also builds consumer awareness as they would be aware of their carbon footprint. Weaknesses. The product would not be very well known initially, and DEWA's marketing costs would be really high along with their other initial costs. Building a consumer base is time consuming. Opportunities. Making it compulsory for consumers will not only benefit them, reduce their DEWA bill, but also reduce water and electric consumption in the long run, which would increase our sales as more people want to buy our product. It would also help DEWA reach its aim to minimize water and electric use by 2030. Threats. Some consumers might not be happy with the product initially due to high prices. More competitors would like to enter the market if they see profit. And they might have like a better USP, but obviously by then we would have like a better brand image and higher market share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. Our next team is Product Pushers from Al Mawakib School, Garud. Team, please be ready. I will give you the go-ahead when you can proceed. In the meanwhile, you all can test out your mic and check if everything is working.
Can you give my other team member the presenter, please?
Surely.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right, I'm gonna share screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, I can. All right. Team Product Pushers, you may start in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, honorable guests and judges. Today, our team Product Pushers is going to be presenting a solution to you, Aqua Glow. Employees are always striving to improve atmosphere in a positive and beneficial approach. Water is being utilized excessively in problematic facilities to create and treat products, which has become a worldwide concern. AquaGlow, on the other hand, is a better and fresh product that will help these manufacturers' errors in order to protect the environment. AquaGlow is the medicine to your grumpy tank's health, since it heals the water's massive, extensive usage. Now we're going to be talking about our business overview. We're going to start by simple facts. Factories in the UAE consume 15.9 billion gallons per day. Utilities, 93% manufacturers are used per year. 3 to 4% are used by watering plants per day. Finally, housing is being used 3% on houses per day.
So the data. You know that the electricity usage will increase because we are a generation that want to involve technology in every single aspect, by electric cars and all other examples. So of course, you're going to see a big change and big usage of it. The water usage. As we all know, when the population increases, the water usage also increases because water is used to agriculture, domestic, landscaping, industrial, making food, creating clothes. But sadly, right, there's a big number. There's also a huge wastage in that, and that's where our product is here to help. So what is our problems and solutions? The biggest problem is there's so much water being wasted and the electricity isn't used properly. And there has been bacterial growth in the pipes where no one will know where exactly it's happening. They take long to search for it. So how does our product help? We have created in the DEWA app something called Eco Mode. You'll get the information it will estimate how much water you probably should use in a day. And when they realize that you might exceed it or you're about to, they'll start sending you notifications to remind you to lower your usage. And our product, our capsule, when it goes through the pipes, it will tell you information and statistics of where the bacteria is actually growing and the chlorine levels. Our sponsors will be, of course, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, My Dubai, Government of Dubai, and also Macro. In the DEWA portal, they include the record, review. They also recommend, give statistics, remind, and have conversations. Our smart device includes a chip, program, application, a solar panel, so you don't waste electricity. We use the eco way of using it. And who do we recommend our product to? Factories, residents, mall, mosques, and hotel. The reason why is because our product has a capsule in it. Yes, it's small, but we've chosen these because their pipes, their water pipes are massive, and we won't worry about the chip getting stuck anywhere. The data you'll be receiving from this capsule that will be sent out is the chlorine levels, pH levels, bacterial growth, and the pipe's life cycle. And of course, we will have subscription packages, and it is the replacement every 7 years, 4 years warranty, including 2 service packages, and custom made to fit the tanks that every single place has.
Now I'm going to be talking about the pestle analysis. To ensure a safe and healthy product, we need political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal ways to ensure healthy and to ensure the health of our product. For political, governance and compliances are considered essential for any organization. As a fully government-owned authority, the government plays a big role in improving our innovation and the amendment of the climbing price. AquaGlow will reduce the number of resources that the government typically provides. Economically, one of the objectives for this product is to reduce the need of people and the monitor of water and electricity systems. Hence, marketing and managing the proposal will result in the hiring of new staff, which will lower the unemployment rates. Our idea will also help manufacturers make the product more environmentally friendly, since it's very common in our day-to-day lives now, which will enhance demand. As Dubai is an economic and financial center, this links the Middle East, Africa, as well as South Asia. It becomes even more important to increase its investors as it acts as a base for players of IoT internationally. Socially, the usage of AquaGlow by DEWA will benefit a person's health and way of life. When previously said, several employees will be laid off as the manufacturer's income levels rise. This becomes enabled to make people more informed and decisions, participate more regularly in providing feedback, and increase of engagement with the citizens' services, allowing the business to be more centered on the customers, since it will help them provide sources provided. Technologically, we will invite manufacturers to participate in this technological innovation, since it will be fresh to Dubai's eyes. R&D has given the business permission to take AquaGlow to the rest of the world. It would be a big milestone to Dubai if DEWA could encourage enterprises to make this technological investment. Since there's a rise in demand of greater IoT solutions, as preventive measures are key to be not only ensure security, also maintain the sustainability of IoT growth in Dubai. Environmentally, it would boost customers' awareness, allowing them to track their daily consumption and adapt any increases with any alternative plan of use. As we previously said, such as the eco mode, which will suggest by the app to use less amounts of water and power to reduce the carbon footprint. Legally, it's a big push for any business to take to secure and ensure their employment levels, and it will give a fresh product to the world. AquaGlow will improve an individual's health by lowering chlorine levels in water and will demand customers' rights by recognizing their rights concerning the Customer Protective Law.
So what is our financial plan? Our product, for us to make it, you need stainless steel, which is approximately 150 dirhams per kg. And the chips are pretty cheap. And of course, we'll be creating multiple capsules so we can get it from a seller for a cheaper price. The program, including IoT, will be slightly expensive because we're creating a program. So 30,000 dirhams to 50,000 dirhams. The application is already made. We're just putting an upgrade in it. So 2,000 to 5,000 dirhams. And the solar panels are pretty cheap, 200 to 360 dirhams. This is our financial statement. We can say that the net cash flow for operations like 88,000, net cash for investing activities 98,000, the net increasing in cash 29,000, and the total assets. There is also the long-term owners equity. There is the total revenue, which is 212,000 or 9 million over here written. The total expenses is 138,000. So income from continuing operations is 64,000. Let me explain to you how our product works. Over here at the side of the tank, this is our product. Now this is the part 1. Part 2 is over here where it stores the 4 capsules that will be sent once every 1 to 2 years to check on the water and if it's contaminated or not. Over here, you see the chlorine particles, and this is the capsule going with the water flow. And this here, you can see the bacterial growth. Now, how does it work? When it collects the data, it will write down or it will store that when it's said 5 seconds into the water flow, it realizes that the pH level started to change. Notice that there's been bacteria growing. Now, this is very sustainable and will help us, and is IoT based. What is our application? It's the same as DEWA's app, but it's just upgraded because it lets you know the water usage, the chlorine levels, pH levels, bacterial growth, and contaminations. Eco, a mode we provide, is gonna, like I explained, help reduce the wastage of water. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, team. Our next team for today is Ringmasters from GEM's Wellington Academy, Silicon Oasis. Team, please get ready for your presentation. I will give you the go-ahead when it's time. In the meanwhile, if all the team members of the Ringmasters could check their mics and to see if everything is working. Team Ringmasters, are you ready?
Everald, this one's a video.
Hi, this is the Ringmasters from GEM's Wellington Academy, Silicon Oasis. This is our final presentation. Lights are used in every building for long periods of time. This is a major way for us to waste energy. Our product is a group of sensors that will lower the unnecessary electric consumptions of consumers. Our product will be placed on the windows and on the floor. The infrared sensor will be able to detect body heat, and it will turn on the light if there's any body heat detected. This sensor will be connected to a secondary sensor, which will be on the window. The secondary sensor would only function if body heat is detected. The light sensor on the window would detect the light intensity and adjust the lighting of the room according to that. You can see this on the flowchart. For example, it would dim the light if there's lots of natural sunlight coming into the room. The consumers will be able to control this product through the DEWA app. They will be able to choose the hours the sensor should be activated. For example, at night, the light will be bright since there's no light coming from the outside. However, some people might meditate before bed, so they might prefer a more dim light.
In Dubai, irrigation is very necessary as the temperatures and weathers aren't best suited for the growth of many types of crops. However, one huge problem is that a lot of the time, the water is wasted during the irrigation process. Statistically, as much as 50% of the water we use outdoors is lost due to wind, evaporation, and runoff caused by inefficient irrigation methods and systems.
A household with an automatic landscape system that isn't properly maintained and operated can waste up to 25,000 gallons of water annually. This is because the irrigation timings are regularly scheduled, regardless of moisture levels present in the soil and the weather conditions. Our solution is to implement IoT sensors into irrigation systems so that it can measure the level of moisture present in the soil and accordingly schedule the next watering period. For example, if the day was particularly dry and the moisture levels in the soil were low, the sensor would pick up on this and schedule an extra watering period. Conversely, if it was a relatively cool and humid day, meaning a lot of water is already absorbed in the soil, depending on the moisture level detected in the soil, the sensor would cancel the next watering period because the soil doesn't need that. Furthermore, the sensor would also be able to make decisions on how much water needs to be given during each watering period and how long it should last. These IoT sensors will be able to ascertain the weather conditions and soil moisture that day, which will help regulate the flow and volume of water at appropriate time to the desired place. Furthermore, our sensor will also be able to detect leakages in the soil. They will be programmed to detect any tears or excess water loss in the pipes and automatically stops the water flow to that area, reducing the water loss to leakages.
DEWA has installed water and electricity meters in all commercial units, residential units, etc. across Dubai. Currently, these meters require workers to physically visit the area and record the readings. Our solution is to introduce a chip, which is linked to an app that consumers can download that will track the readings on the meters live and remotely upload the data onto the app, which is linked to each individual Makani number without any external intervention. While DEWA is already in the process of distributing smart electricity and water meters, our solution would eliminate the need to replace all the current meters and instead offers an enhancement to the existing product. The app would be a way to change the labor work into a more technological solution. This would be much more efficient since the app connects to every house's Makani number, converts these into individual tabs, which will allow them to access the water and electricity consumption information for each particular house. Overall, our proposed solution of an app connected to a chip would eliminate the need for workers to go and manually check the readings on the water and electricity meters.
Feasibility is how easily or conveniently a task can be managed, and this product is definitely very feasible and possible to make. And however, we need to employ a few engineers and product manufacturers and IT professionals to produce this product. There are many people interested in the engineering and IT sector as it is the future. Therefore, it will be easier to employ more professionals to build our many sensors. It is a very feasible solution. And if DEWA makes it a compulsory measure, it will definitely help lower consumption and minimize the wastage of electricity and water. The costs may be higher during the first year due to high labor costs and such, but the benefits outweigh the costs long term. It might possibly take a small amount of time to implement these solutions into irrigation systems in every house in Dubai, but it is worthwhile for the long run for both the consumers and the government.
The UAE has one political system, which is a constitutional federation. This means that the policies and government are stable. Adding this to DEWA won't break any policies and will be easy, and the decision is unlikely to change because of the stability. The UAE has a liberal foreign trade, which means that trading materials or sensors or simply anything needed for our three products are possible and easy. DEWA doesn't have any tax for the monthly fees, so they could add VAT of 5% to buy the chip or the window or the light sensors. There's no corruption that will occur since this is carried out by DEWA, which is a public service business run by the government. According to the UAE's government website, one of the UAE's main elements is to raise awareness among new generations to adopt a more responsible behavior towards natural resources. As water is a very valuable natural resource to the UAE, our water solution of using chips to detect leaking pipes and to measure the moisture levels in the soil helps to decrease water wastage, which helps DEWA promote the policies of the UAE, supporting the overall goal to become a better place.
Since consumers are now a lot more aware of their electricity consumption, this would mean that they would potentially spend a lot less on their electricity bills, leading to an increased purchasing power and more disposable income, which in turn results in greater standards of living and by extension, a higher GDP, which benefits Dubai a lot. In terms of DEWA, since people are making major lifestyle changes in order to adhere to and save the environment, these solutions would definitely result in an increased quantity demanded, which would raise the equilibrium price, allowing DEWA to sell the products at higher prices, resulting in a greater government revenue and profit in the long run, which could later be reinvested into the country. The more efficient allocation of resources when it comes to irrigation and sprinkling would mean much less resources are wasted, which is excellent because resources are scarce. Additionally, the new and updated irrigation regimen, thanks to the IoT sensors, would really help minimize water costs, which would in turn reduce costs, yet again for the government paying for the flow of water. The implementation of the solution would also reduce production costs for DEWA as the implementation of the chip in the meters eliminates the need for workers to go around checking meters, leading to reduced production costs as they can now lay off workers and don't need to pay them wages and salaries.
In the recent years, there's an increase in environmental awareness since the effects of climate change is progressing more every day. Dubai has a water producer project which aims to reduce water usage by 30% by 2030. DEWA's goal is to exceed global targets for using clean energy to desalinate water. Our water solution would be supporting DEWA's goals. The sensors for the light will reduce the amount of light used by the consumer. This will also be an opportunity for the consumer to get rid of bad habits of leaving the lights on. Furthermore, this would lead to their lowering their bills since they won't be wasting electricity. The optional services that DEWA would provide would inform the consumers and make them more aware about the environment.
An app would be used to link all of these products with the users. This makes these options more convenient since in this era, everyone is highly dependent on their mobile phones. The information from the water and electrical meters will be transferred to the database of DEWA, which would eliminate human labor. Every year, the tech industry is becoming more valuable, and many different companies are implementing IoT into their product to enhance them. With these products, DEWA would be more appealing to the consumers. This would make DEWA a much more modern company. Our product for the water solution would be connected to the internet to access information about the weather conditions like the humidity.
Furthermore, according to experts, treated water is often left unused and dumped. Since treated sewage water cannot be used for every purpose, typically it is used for irrigation. Therefore, we decided to focus our solution on water loss, specifically through irrigation. Our solution is to implement IoT sensors into the irrigation systems so that we can measure the level of moisture present in the soil and accordingly schedule the next watering period. This would help reduce water loss through leakages and reduce overall water consumption. The installation of this product will not cause any damage to the environment, such as chemical poisoning and pollution, etc. As the enhancement is in a form of a chip, there is no need for the disposal of the existing systems. At the end of its lifetime, once the irrigation system becomes obsolete and it is past the point of repair, it can easily be removed and disposed of as it is, and it will be made mostly out of recycled materials. Our solution to reduce electricity consumption focuses on electricity wasted on unnecessary lighting. Our natural light detection system takes advantage of device access to consistent and substantial amount of natural light. Our product doesn't require fossil fuels to function, therefore it will have a less of a carbon footprint and thus lining up with the UAE's reduction of carbon emission goals.
As part of the government of Dubai, DEWA's core objectives are to establish, manage, operate, and maintain electricity generation and water desalination plants and power and water transmission and distribution networks in Dubai. Since our solution does not violate any personal privacy, environmental protection, or tax laws in the UAE, and since DEWA is a government entity, it can be assumed that all aspects of our proposed ideas will be implemented in accordance with the law. Since the UAE doesn't impose income taxes, DEWA requires payment for the provision of these services.
This table shows how the profit is predicted to be much higher in year 2 as there is less cost due to the reduction in production and installation. There is already a system in place for newer houses. For water, usually in the UAE, 4.5 liters of water are wasted per 1 meter daily due to traditional irrigation methods such as sprinklers. With this product, 30% of water wastage in irrigation can be avoided. When doing so, the sensor will reduce water usage, which can further reduce costs to have well-maintained agriculture. As for electricity, after this product is in use, the electricity wasted due to unrealized lights will be avoided, thus reducing costs for DEWA as well as consumers. This could, in turn, reduce total cost for DEWA, as their cost for producing or generating electricity is decreased due to a slightly lower use of electricity. With an estimate for both the products, we have calculated that in the first year, the revenue will be low because of high costs due to the installation of the products into upcoming houses and potential existing ones. However, in the second year, the revenue will be constant as the cost will be lower due to the system being in place and used efficiently. Therefore, in the long run, consumers and DEWA, as well as the other stakeholders, are able to save money by using our product.
Our products would be connected to the DEWA app, which would allow for consumers to put in information about themselves, and as a result, the services provided by the products would be altered to fit in the consumer's lifestyle, especially with our sensors for the electricity solution. And the electricity sensors are connected via an app, which allows customers to customize the lighting to their preferences, and the water sensors are linked to local weather stations via the internet to put out the water that is necessary, dependent on the weather conditions that day and the measurements of the moisture levels. The app would be a way to change the labor work into a more technological solution. This would be much more effective since the app connects to every house's Makani number. Thank you guys so much for listening to our presentation. We hope you have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Team Ringmasters. Our next team for today is Team Passwords from GEMS Wellington Academy, Silicon Oasis. Team, please be ready. Team Passwords, are you ready?
1 minute, please, just to share screen.
Surely.
Is the screen sharing right now?
Not, okay, yes, it is now.
Okay.
All right. Team Classwords, you may start in 3, 2, 1.
For our final pitch, we have teamed up with the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority to create an Internet of Things solution to reduce and minimize water and electricity usage across Dubai, and to eliminate the need for workers to go around checking electric and water meters. Here's our idea. Every villa and apartment is to be fitted with smart meters as an extension to the existing meters which connect to a central hub at DEWA. These smart meters are IoT devices which connect to the internet. These meters will display and track information about the allocation of electricity and water in a household. These smart meters can be accessed through an app we've called DEWA Connect. When downloaded, DEWA, the virtual assistant on the app, will present the consumer with a survey which will ask important questions such as what time do you want your water heated, and questions about the consumer's typical daily routine, which includes the time they leave, get home, etc. and other information about the systems in their household. The app will use the data collected from the survey as well as data collected from the surroundings such as weather to help set appropriate schedules for turning on and off different systems in the household. For example, the consumer can control by what time they want their water to be hot. The app will keep into account the times given in the survey and data on how long the water heater takes to reach the optimum temperature. The consumer can also set different schedules if they have a different routine on different days. For the first month when a set time comes around, the app will send a notification asking the consumer if they would like to proceed. After 1 month of using DEWA Connect, the consumer can choose to have the app no longer ask for permission and to function purely based off previous patterns. DEWA, the virtual assistant. We have chosen a simple name DEWA as the name of the AI virtual assistant on the app. This virtual assistant will ask the consumer at regular intervals if they would like to change or edit any part of the schedules. These regular intervals are chosen by the consumer, for example, whether they want to be asked every month or every week. If the consumer needs to make any urgent changes, they can open the app and say, "Hey DEWA," so they can then demand the changes. Whenever there are any queries from the consumer side, they're able to open the app and talk to DEWA, the virtual assistant, for the information.
What does the smart meter entail? The smart meter will control almost all electrical and water systems in the household, including water heaters and AC, which can be turned on from the app or have a scheduled time for them to be turned on. The AI will collect data from devices like temperature sensors and data from the survey to assist in finding the optimum times in both AC and water heating. Outdoor irrigation systems will also be controlled by the meters. The app will be able to connect smart outdoor irrigation systems for watering plants. Therefore, the irrigation system's timing can be controlled using DEWA Connect. During the initial survey, the consumers will be asked whether they want to connect their irrigation system with the app and will ask information regarding timing and size of the garden. The app will use this data alongside data collected by sensors about the soil and temperature to find the optimum watering length and time. This feature is only applicable to villas and townhouses. For those who have electric cars, the app can control when it is charged. During the day, it will communicate with the electric car in the house and only charge it when the demand for electricity is low, therefore avoiding putting pressure in electricity usage during rush hours. As well as controlling all the previously mentioned systems, the app will display information about bills, allowing for easy payments, and provide the consumers with a breakdown about the allocation of electricity and water in a format similar to Apple's Screen Time. This means the consumer's usage will be presented in percentages, therefore helping consumers target where to cut down on energy usage.
Low power mode. DEWA Connect will have a low power mode feature, which is when all non-essential electricity is turned off. Initially, turning on low power mode turns off all electrical outlets and devices except for those that must remain on, such as refrigerators, but the consumer can edit preferences on what devices stay on through the app. Low power mode is meant to be activated when no one's home and is in place to save and reduce electricity usage and save money for households. Parental/guardian accounts. Also, parental/guardian accounts will be given as an option to the consumer, who can choose when setting up their account whether they would like to create parental accounts. This will be done so that users from the family can be given limited access. For example, parents can choose to limit their child's access to just the AC in order to avoid the child from interfering with other systems such as water heating. This can be accomplished by interconnecting different devices to the same account.
Feasibility. We will be raising nearly $11 billion US through the public-private partnership route. Therefore, our idea becomes more feasible as they will
be able to raise more capital through private investments rather than just borrowing money from the government. This project is estimated to take roughly 3 years after approval from the government. The first year will be spent in development of the meters in the app. Afterwards, they will need to go through test runs, which can be done by implementing the smart meter system in one community, then fixing any issues that arise. And the final year will be spent installing the meter in all residential areas. To do this, DEWA will partner with large residential construction firms, such as Al-Futim Group, Emar, and Damek Properties. AI within the meter. Applying AI techniques enables the central meter to create custom schedules for energy usage based on the consumer's usage history, along with external factors such as weather. The collected usage data is used to train machine learning models, which can analyze this data and find patterns within. The models are then used to connect and predict the consumer's behavior regarding energy consumption. Utilizing AI in this way will help the external energy usage within the household significantly decrease, as the AI can use consumer data, external data, and pattern detection to ensure the most efficient use of energy possible.
The financial plan can be broken down into three things: app and AI development costs, meter development costs, and worker salaries. Let's start with app and AI development costs. App development would cost an estimated amount of $120,000 based on findings from businessofapps.com. This cost also includes the code which links your mobile device to the meter by connecting the Bluetooth receiver and the meter to the Bluetooth built in the phone. The cost of developing the AI would be $180,000 and will use highly skilled developers. In total, this would cost an estimate of $300,000 for AI and app development. As for the meter development, according to Amazon and e-commerce sellers, an ordinary meter costs between $2,000 to $5,000. According to thegadgetbuyer.com, it costs $80 for the technology needed to get a Bluetooth system and an extra $120 for it to be compatible with more than one mobile operating system, which would total $200 for the Bluetooth technology. Our meter has an LCD screen display built into it, and LCD screens cost around $5 to $30, which is also respective to the resolution of the LCD screen display. Therefore, our estimate is $15 for each screen. The cost to implement the code which connects the meters to the consumer's phone will also be part of the total cost. Therefore, it will cost $5,000 for the meter, $200 for the Bluetooth, $15 for the screening, and $500 for the implementation. In total, each smart meter would cost an estimated $6,000, which is a number that has been rounded up. As for the workers' salaries, the average cost to hire a developer is approximately $90,000 a year, and we would assume that an app like this would need at least 5 developers. So in total, this would cost an estimated $450,000 for the salary of the developers. The average salary for tech support agents is $33,000 per year. Our tech support agents will work 9 hours per day to help with user satisfaction and assistance. We'll need 30 to 35 agents on standby to help with the support for the app. So in total, the cost for the tech support salaries would be an estimated $115,000 per year. So in total, the salaries for all the staff would be $575,000. Here's a quick breakdown of the capital costs and the operational costs. Total costs and funding. Since DEWA is a government-owned organization, Dubai's government would be providing the funding needed for the project. In total, the cost would be $577.632 million in capital costs and $585,000 in operational costs. This is a non-profitable product as it has been made for the purpose of lowering water and electric usage for DEWA rather than make a profit. Advertisements can be added to the application if cost recovery is needed.
Fiscal analysis. Political impact. DEWA is a government-owned enterprise, which means that any decisions made by the government may directly dictate what happens at DEWA. Dubai is also a fairly politically neutral city, so the implementation of the app will not have a massive political impact. However, DEWA Connect will make Dubai one of the first regions in the world to incorporate IoT into saving energy and water. The system may also improve relations with other countries who also have a similar focus on sustainability. Economic impact. Since DEWA is a wealthy and well-equipped enterprise, it means that the implementation of the smart meter is possible and feasible. DEWA consumers can save money on water and electricity, therefore allowing the consumers to have more spending power, leading to economic growth. Initially, the economy may be impacted negatively, as a lot of government money will go into the project. But in the long run, the reduction of maintenance costs will help boost the economy. Social impact. The smart meter will simplify the lives of Dubai citizens, as a lot of their activities are app or internet-based. For example, Uber is widely used for transport, and Talabat is widely used to purchase food, meaning that this app will be very convenient to Dubai citizens. This can be evidenced by the fact that 99% of the UAE population uses the internet, and the average UAE citizen spends 7.5 hours online per day, which can be generalized to Dubai. The smart meter will make Dubai be seen as high-tech, green, and environmentally friendly city, therefore gaining a reputation for being sustainable and innovative. The creation and development of the smart meter systems would go along well with the current Expo 2020, which is globally recognized.
Technological impact. Dubai is a technologically advanced city, and so our idea would help with Dubai's ambitions to creating a better future and becoming a sustainable city. Technologically speaking, Dubai is more than capable of implementing our idea, and we believe that Dubai can adapt to large or sudden technological changes. Additionally, DEWA is currently working on its new headquarters building called Al Shira, which is expected to be ready by 2023, and it is set to be the tallest, largest, and smartest net zero energy building in the world. Al Shira will be implementing the Internet of Things, therefore the smart meter systems can be released at the same time, which would work very well. Environmental impact. These smart meters will have a good impact on the environment as their purpose is to reduce electricity and water usage. The meter will be made of a metal casing, which may have a negative impact on the environment because of the way that metal is extracted. However, to counterbalance that, DEWA can use recycled metal to create the casing. Ultimately, our idea will lead to Dubai having a much smaller negative environmental impact, which will lead to a greener and brighter future for Dubai. Legal impact. The application will have to follow privacy laws for phone users, and they have to be able to access their banking information so they can pay the bills. Also, users will have to allow their location to be tracked, and developers and technical support staff will need to be employed and provided with an adequate working space. Here are the resources we used for the presentation. Thank you for listening.
Well done, and thank you to the first 5 teams. We will now take our first health break, which will be 10 minutes long, requesting the next 6 teams to kindly be ready for the next round. The next 6 teams in the order is Meta, Falcon Vision, Celestium, Cyberphobia, Alphi, and Dr. Frost. We will see you again in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. We will now proceed with the next round of the grand finale. I request the team members to line up for the presentation. Our next team presenting is Team Meta from the GEMS Founder School, Al Mizhar. Team Meta, are you ready?
Hello, yes. I'm Jumana, and this is Team Meta's Case Study 4 proposal. Our general idea theme is to build a future where Dubai uses efficient architecture to save our resources and reduce costs on water and electricity. With the help of DEWA, we hope to achieve our goals. Reusable water, toilet water filtration.
Half the water usage in the UAE is used for agriculture, and the other half is domestic use in homes. Most of domestic use comes from flushing our toilets. Our ideas to change urine into reusable filtered water in the commode. This will work by having the liquid from the commode be flushed out and filtered from all the solid waste.
Excuse me, sorry. Hi, your team member isn't as audible.
This is a recording.
Okay, if it could just be made a little louder, please.
Let me see if that's possible.
Half the water usage in the UAE is used for agriculture, and the other half is domestic use in homes. Most of domestic use comes from flushing our toilets. Our ideas to change urine into reusable filtered.
Is that better?
This will work by having the liquid from the commode be flushed out and filtered from
A
all
bit.
solid material. The liquid is then further filtered into usable and unusable materials. The waste goes directly into the sewage along with solid waste. Urine is then filtered again to produce clean water that is reused back into the toilet to flush out the waste. This would operate on a one-week cycle. Once the week is over, the filtered water could be dumped through the irrigation system, which is used for any other greenery in the neighboring areas, as its nutrients could be used for fertilizers. However, depending on the area and the infrastructure, it may just be dumped back into the sewage. Now, new water is used in the common and cycle will continue. Waste is directly pumped into the sewage system, whilst recycling liquids are treated underground in a treatment facility with a three-step filtering method and then fed back into the toilet recycled water system. The filtered liquid is constantly used and strained through the fiber membrane technology. By reusing the same water in toilets for a week, we can cut down on nearly 60% of the water that would have been used in the common, saving immense amounts of water that would have been wasted otherwise without inconveniencing anyone's daily life. Economy. The overuse of water and electricity contributes to the poverty and lack of social development, leading to the downfall of the economy, and it's being announced that consumption in Dubai surged 10% at the first half due to the bounce of the pandemic as tourism rises in the UAE. Social. People may be hesitant to adopt the system into their bathrooms, knowing that their previous urine is being used to clean their toilets. Some may find this unhygienic and be uncomfortable with it. However, environmental consciousness is becoming ever increasing, and more people are wanting to become environmentally friendly. When shown data of effectiveness, citizens may be happy to comply, especially if it's reducing their water bills. Technology. The global hollow fiber filtration market size is projected to reach $374.3 million USD by 2027, from $218.3 million USD at a CAGR of 7.5% using the forecast period 2021 to 2027. Filtration technology is increasing and becoming more reliable. Its capabilities are becoming reports from Emirates Industrial Bank 2005 said that the UAE had the highest per capita consumption of water in the world. Since UAE is one of the top 3 countries in wasting water, the system would be a reinforcement to minimize water, thus beneficial innovation to the environment. Increasing necessity makes this innovation more of a priority. Legally, it's safe and healthy to many sanitation regulations require the system may not be efficient due to the reproduction of urine into more unnecessary water being reusable. Many would consider this a violation to some health or safety laws. Financial fact: in Dubai, a person's average consumption of water is 350 liters per day. Accordingly, there are about 2,921,000 people, meaning that's a total of 1.022 billion liters consumed daily in Dubai. Since quarter of the water consumption is from toilet uses, with our idea, they're expecting 70% reduce, which is decreased from 255.58 million liters, the amount used for toilet uses, to 76.67 million liters. Therefore, the total amount of liters used per day being reduced by 21.21, resulting in a person's average consumption is now 275.8 liters per day. This is greatly beneficial as 178.9 million liters is being saved daily, or about 5.367 billion liters per month. You would use cost plus pricing strategies to gain a certain amount of profit, as cost per unit would be 85 dirhams. They could add 50% of profit, thus price per unit would be 100 dirhams, making it affordable and inexpensive. Profit would take over suddenly as to conquer it longer. Some couldn't afford it or desire it, as later they would buy it once new toilets. If we assume that there are toilets for 3 individuals, so 9.73k toilets in Dubai, and implementing the idea to each toilet could generate about 997.3 million dirhams for the revenue, and thus profit will be 31.91 million.
Break-even cost. The fixed cost is estimated to be about 1.5 million dirhams due to planning and finding the right resources. And since our variable cost is estimated to be at 75, while the price per unit is 100, our break-even point would be at 50,000 dirhams.
This table shows the data collected from cost, revenue, all the way to profits. As we can see, we predict a loss of profits of the first year of 2021. From there, a steadily increase of profit as the market is increasing in size from 2022 onwards to 2025. This is making this a very feasible idea. Sunflower solar panels, reducing electricity from air conditioning in Dubai.
Sunflower panels. Dubai suffers the challenge of being located in the heart of the desert, having to keep up with its constant heat. Nearly every building is equipped with air conditioning and has it on for nearly the entire day. According to World Bank figures, air conditioning is responsible for 70% of the UAE's energy consumption. Air conditioning is also a large contributor to water waste, as they use a large quantity of water via choke pumps. That's why we are proposing the idea of sunflower panels. They would have two models. The first option is a cheaper alternative used for smaller scale buildings where investing to solar technology would not be as efficient. The second option would incorporate the use of solar power, making it slightly more expensive but also more energy efficient on a large scale. The panels can be installed next to a window in a slight diagonal shift. They will be operated on a sun tracking software, using the latest wave of sensors to shift the panels in the direction of the sun, hence the name sunflower. By deflecting or absorbing the sunlight without obstructing the view, they will reduce the amount of heat let into the building, thus reducing the energy spent on AC. The cheaper model is built with an IR reflecting coating on its white surface. The copper panels shift towards the light to cover the required amount of light. Its heat reflecting properties will greatly reduce the amount of heat let into a home throughout the day. The panels can be controlled by individuals to adjust the amount of light they want in. Larger scale buildings can take advantage of it being surface or solar panels, and it could make for some really interesting architecture. Instead of reflecting light, it would absorb the solar energy to produce more electricity for the building. This would further save costs and energy. The energy saved from using solar power could pay off the cost of the initial installation and maintenance, along with great saving use of energy.
Environmentalism is on the one currently different governments expected to be eager to obtain the technology of sunflower solar panels, becoming more environmentally friendly would gain the country's own political points in relation to the rest of the world. This would not invest much money in air conditioning, saving costs, as well as business costs would also decrease. Since DEWA is a government company, the government would earn profit from the solar panels. This government revenue could be used, amongst others, to benefit for renewable energy. Laborers could earn more financial aid, which would help increase their standards of living. Using renewable energy resources, including the sunflower solar panels, the UAE could gain a reputation of being an environmentally friendly region, which would spread awareness on a global scale and further influence and encourage population to renewable energy. Since using eco-friendly methods is currently a prioritization for many people in the world, they will be satisfied with the idea. Power is becoming increasingly popular, more demand, its efficiency is also increasing. The government could apply legislation that sunflower solar panels can be implemented to all new constructed buildings by 2023 onwards. Would decrease and minimize the high consumption of electricity and ultimately reduce the need for fossil fuels, with less fossil fuels being burned, greenhouse gas emissions would decrease and eventually lead to lower levels of global warming and pollution in the atmosphere.
As we can see, these graphs show that $10,000 per 2,000 square feet, the costs and the unit residential commercials, and our break-even chart showing that our costs are staying relatively fixed within the range of 20,000 fixed costs, which for each building, and 1.06 variable cost per building unit. DEWA making a revenue of 22,500, ending up with a profit of 1,970 on each new building that we build. Break even at 455 units. This is a long-term process of adapting it. Will slowly be picked up by Dubai, and then it will shoot up around a year and a half. Excuse me.
Hi, Jumana, you still have a minute left?
Yes, there's an issue. They've stopped my sharing. They said that I can't share.
You could try again now.
It's telling me I can't share.
That may be an issue. Are you still having the blue ring going around and around on PowerPoint?
No, PowerPoint is perfectly fine. It's just telling me that I can't share. Apologies. I don't know what happened. Here, I'll try again. And here, can you see this now?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Smart meters, achievement on water and electricity.
Device that tracks consumer energy usage in real time. What this means is that electricity consumption for a home or business is tracked at every moment during the day, 7 days a week. It would also help immensely to reduce the requirement for water technicians to physically go and check water meters by linking the data to a server at DEWA headquarters. Traditional meters do not track usage in this way. They can only track the total consumption amount, which makes it impossible to know how much energy was used during a particular time or a particular day. In turn, this can put a strain on the grid because consumers can't get a good understanding of peak times or increases in demand. Smart meters offer a way to connect citizens and DEWA. It is of shared data that DEWA can see and meet the needs of consumers. We propose on adding a remote billing feature to make it easier for device citizens to pay their bill. We also propose on adding a new software to the DEWA app, which allows users to receive an alert of when they're overspending their budget. This will help reduce the amount of water and electricity usage as consumers will be more conscious of the amount of power they are using, so we can avoid paying an expensive bill. It would also mean that consumers are responsible for checking their own meters instead of workers. The cost of developing the app would be minimal as we use DEWA's existing technological development team.
Thank you so much. This is the end of our project.
Thank you, Team Meta. Our next presenting team is Team Falcon Vision from the American School of Dubai. Team Celestium from JSS International School, please be ready right after them. Team Falcon Vision, are you ready?
Oh, could you just give us some time to share the screen? Thank you so much.
Surely. Okay. Team Falcon Vision, you may begin in 3, 2, 1.
We often find ourselves in the middle of an ever-changing world, amidst a constantly evolving, fast-paced society, always asking ourselves the question, how can we do better? The Dubai Electricity and Water Authority does only the best to manage the generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity and water across the Emirate. Yet again, however, we ask ourselves, how can we do better?
DEWA finds a synergy between sustainability and a tailored IoT solution. In fact, DEWA aims to catapult sustainable electricity usage to 25% by 2030 and minimize water and electricity consumption, and with the idea that what can't be measured can't be managed, our enhanced virtual power plant and green data solution will streamline efficiency and operations.
Specifically, a virtual power plant, VPP, is a cloud-based data and power hub that aggregates sustainable sources of energy across the Emirate, streamlining the connection between the consumer and the producer. In our case, this VPP solution focuses on the implications of PV/solar panels to both improve efficiency and consumption in the age of renewables. This system of IoT and cloud-based software opens distribution gateways to homes, commercial and industrial buildings, and finally, EV charging stations. How does IoT come into play? In order to tackle the prompt at hand, we plan to implement a programmable logic controller device, which creates control processes and reduces electricity consumption and generation. The programmable logic controller is able to tell the solar panel to operate or not based on data supplied by a PV weather forecasting API. This electricity is generated by the solar panel, which is either stored in lithium-ion batteries or distributed on DEWA smart grid.
This allows the current DEWA pilot virtual power plant transition into a unified virtual power plant, revitalizing it with new additions beyond just the existing AI and energy resource allocation. Developing from the current model, the revitalized virtual power plant will open new doors to flexible demand aggregation, load and supply PV forecasting, IoT gateway integration, and efficient scheduling of energy generation.
PLC takes data from the PV forecasting API through a control statement that dictates the utilization of the solar panels. If weather conditions are forecasted to have smaller sunlight hours, the panel would take the information and function only in the specific time frame where it has optimum sunlight. Adapting to these potentially unforeseen weather conditions allows for reduced energy consumption overall. If excess energy is generated, DEWA can store it in their lithium-ion batteries. This systematic flowchart shows the energy distribution and generation process. The general process of a PV solar panel is shown, which generates electricity which is later transported through the DEWA smart grid to highest concentration areas. These high concentration areas are calculated through DEWA's comprehensive analysis of the smart grid and consumption data, in the end reaching the consumer. Electricity consumption is minimized as a result of the PV forecasting API, demand analysis, and the implementation of the virtual power plant.
This IoT hub solution is macroscopically feasible on many levels. Firstly, it is run online, meaning that running costs can be reduced. Secondly, its virtual and physical qualities allow it to vertically connect to both the PV panels and power grid and reduce physical maintenance costs, while the PLC tackles the reduced mean daily sunshine hours at 8.1 hours and other unforeseen weather conditions. Moreover, it is in line with DEWA's smart initiatives, and it capitalizes on the developing Mohammed bin Rashid solar park, which is projected to supply many parts of Dubai, in addition to the 6 new transmission substations in which DEWA has invested 1.1 billion dirhams in 2021.
Our second part of our two-pronged solution includes the usage of neural networks in DEWA's IoT infrastructure, the smart meters. We plan to transition this existing model into the one that utilizes and builds off green data recorded. With over 900,000 pre-existing smart meters installed by DEWA to capitalize on, acquiring and creating traditionally retrieved data into the form of green data nodes can optimize water usage.
Neural networks allow smart meters to use green data to its advantage, developing a sense of water temperature, consumption, etc. As stated previously, these green data nodes link and create a large network of numbers based on various water measurements created through IoT, which are the smart meters. Furthermore, AMI, which is an advanced metering infrastructure, is a system of equipment, communications, and information management systems for utilities to measure customer water usage through DEWA. As we plan to implement neural networks and machine learning into the system, we see a greater influence on the general efficiency of it.
At large, our system is not only environmentally friendly, but in fact furthers the progression of the UN Sustainable Development Goals 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, and 17. In addition to fostering the creation of a nation that is more hospitable, equitable, and prosperous, developments made under the Sustainable Development Goals result in improved reputation, strengthened ties, stronger foreign policy, and a stronger connection to the UN and other nations, to name a few. Ultimately depict how such a progression has the capabilities of benefiting all parties involved. Furthermore, there are many economic benefits embedded within our solution. For example, a reduction in the cost of sustainable energy sources, supporting economically sustainable growth within the emirate, diversifying the local supply chain, and attracting local and foreign investors, a sector which has seen significant prosperity and traffic over the course of the last 5 years.
Socially, not only do these solutions help DEWA maintain its broad social environmental initiatives, such as the UAE Centennial Act, it overall bridges clients with DEWA, improving loyalty, reputation, and customer experience by building trust and transparency. In the long term, with potential synergies with the existing DEWA Smart app, which has raised customer satisfaction, the solution also incentivizes households and commercial building owners to adopt and transform into the PV model.
As DEWA continues to use smart tech, IoT also helps with lowering consumption overall. With both the virtual power plant and the programmable logic controller, we are able to interpret and acquire data which stores and distributes energy efficiently.
Our system provides the emirate with ensured access to reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. But as it also phases out gas power plants, it minimizes production of carbon and other harmful gases, furthering the emirate's goal for carbon neutrality by 2050. The implementation of sustainable energy will not only set a precedent for Dubai to be the first carbon neutral emirate in the UAE, but will also show newer generations the benefits and importance of sustainable energy for humanity's future. Keeping the best interests of our surroundings in mind, our system will abide by environmental regulations throughout construction, implementation, and operation, such as Federal Law No. 24 of 1999, Local Order No. 61 of 1991, and DEWA Executive Council Resolution No. 46 of 2014. Our objective is to provide cleaner energy to the citizens of Dubai and to do so with the utmost safety. After research and forecasting conducted through the DEWA Shams calculator and previous public investments, we were able to conclude that our system minimizes the need for workers to check water and electricity meters and reduces costs compared to the current gas power plants by 17.5 million dirham by CY 2025. The implementation of our system will mainly occur in the first year, with maintenance and small expansions taking place later on. Including cash outflows over the next 4 years compared to gas power plants, the total cost saved will be 15 million dirham.
Thank you very much for your time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And remember, be a part of the solution, not a part of the pollution. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Falcon Vision. Our next presenting team is Team Celestium from JSS International School. Team Cyberphobia from GEMS Cambridge International Abu Dhabi, please be ready as you're right after them. Team Celestium, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Give us a few seconds, please.
Surely.
Yes, ma'am. I think we're ready.
Okay, you may proceed. You may begin in 3, 2, 1.
Hear ye, hear ye. Here we bring raffles and draw that make thee struck in awe. Try your luck, it might just drop your jaw.
Let's face it, the old-fashioned method of checking meters is simply impractical. No, wait, let's rephrase that. It's simply annoying, irritable, headache-causing. Yes, that's better. Considering the great heights to which technology has reached in today's era, you would expect that one would be able to check their electric meter, pay their bills, and save electricity all remotely. Well, that's exactly what our team has made possible by making use of the vast, expanding Internet of Things and sustainably applying it to the tiresome world of bills and meters to make the whole process easier, efficient, and educational. Over to you, Zaki.
Current situation. Now, how does UAE's current situation in terms of electrical usage look? Well, according to the United Arab Emirates electricity consumption data, over 113.2 billion kilowatt hour of energy is used per year. This records an increase from the previous number of 128,104.927 gigawatt hour for 2018. Now, electricity usage can be divided into 3 main sectors: residential, commercial, and agricultural. Residential sectors use over 39% of the electricity, and which is mostly used for air conditioning and lighting. According to Dubai Electricity and Water Authority Chief Executive, power consumption in Dubai surged 10% in the first half of the year compared with the previous year as demand picked up in the commercial and residential sectors in the Emirates. Now, moving on to the commercial sector, which only encompasses over 29% of Dubai's total electricity. In 2019, the total consumption of electricity by the commercial sector of the Emirate region of Dubai in the UAE reached approximately 22 terawatt hours. The number of electricity consumers in Dubai reached around 916,000 in the same year. Finally, we have the agricultural sector, which only
Now we move on to conserving energy. Now, we all may wonder why conserving energy is important. Energy conservation is important and beneficial for many reasons. You can save money, increase your property value, and at the same time protect the environment all through simple energy saving measures. These are great benefits that you can gain from saving energy, no matter your exact motivation for conservation in the first place. Water conservation is easier if businesses and consumers know how much water they're already using. Baseline data allow for comparisons, trend spotting, and goal setting. Just as important, learning about your current using patterns and can reveal leaks that waste water. Moving on to some solutions. Every UAE resident on an average consumes staggering 8,271 kilograms of oil equivalent energy per annum. In order to reduce this amount to something that is sustainable and to discontinue the laborious and the inefficient manual checkings of readings, we would like to introduce to you 3 solutions: the staggering 82, Unilighter sensor, and efficient watt. The staggering 82, also known as the smart power strips, help to prevent the consumption of electricity after they have been switched off. Statistics show that 75% of energy used in household electronics is consumed when the power is switched off. This device eliminates the problem by shutting off the power when they are not used. Unilighter sensor is an IoT-enabled smart lighting sensor that will automatically turn on and turn off your light depending upon the presence of people. You can adjust the intensity of light depending upon the natural course of light during the day. And the most important device of all is the efficient watt, also known as a smart meter, which rules over the consumer's electricity consumption and accurately reports them in real time. These are interconnected with the headquarters of DEWA, making the billing process much easier. But the hidden concern of every single person remains, which is privacy. Will be rest assured, as these smart meters will be encrypted with the best encryption software that the market has to offer to prevent hackings, snooping through data, and much more. We believe that together, these solutions will reduce and rather completely eliminate the need for workers to go around and check electric and water meters. Now I hand it over to Bhumika.
In 2017, the UAE federal government released the Water Security Strategy 2036, the overall objectives of which included reducing the total demand for water resources by 21% and reducing the water scarcity index by 3 degrees. In line with these objectives and for the ultimate utilization of advanced technologies and innovation, our team proposes the water-wired smart meter system. Our IoT solution for smart meters, specifically for measuring water consumption, was inspired by a government initiative in California for a water energy technology program that makes use of monitoring softwares and flow meters for households and businesses to know their water consumption levels, which serves as a baseline in establishing further improvements to the water saving system. The water-wired smart meters are based on the working of ultrasonic flow meters. These meters measure the velocity of a fluid via ultrasound to calculate the volume flow. Since they have no moving parts, ultrasonic flow meters are much cheaper in terms of installation and energy efficiency and last relatively longer in comparison to mechanical flow meters, hence our reason for choosing them. The water-wired smart meters will be IoT enabled and have the ability to collect and transmit the encrypted data regarding water consumption in real time to DEWA. On the back end, this data will be analyzed and stored via a cloud computing software and be made available to the end user. Furthermore, faulty areas and recommendations for bettering water consumption will be given. By monitoring their water consumption and actively making improvements to their lifestyle based on the given data, consumers will be able to lower their contributions to water scarcity. Private households, businesses, and the agricultural sector will, on a larger scale, be able to minimize their water consumption and revolutionize their means of living and methods of earning in a much more sustainable manner, which is of special importance in a country like UAE, that is a desert and water scarce to begin with. The water-wired smart meter as a whole serves to re-emphasize that water is in fact a precious resource. Over to you, Zaki.
Now, how do smart meters affect the environment? Well, smart meters are a huge benefit when it comes to the environmental aspect of life. They enable a flexible energy system that can use greener sources of energy. While regular meters run on electricity provided by non-renewable sources of energy, which affect the environment, our smart meters, on the other hand, run on solar energy, thus making it completely independent. Environmental benefits include reducing electricity consumption and increasing transmission and distribution efficiency, reducing utilities vehicles' needs, promoting distributed and renewable energy production, and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. On top of all of this, with smart meters, consumers can have more understanding of their energy usage and hence are able to be flexible with their energy consumption. This allows them to change their behaviors and choose new, more economical and ecological methods provided by the system. If such a system is implemented, the country could reduce the carbon footprint by a large margin. Energy companies can also combine information from different data points, such as changing consumer demand, load, weather, etc., to make predictions and optimize the production energy. This helps avoid waste and maximize the part of clean energy in the overall volume of energy supply. Over to Bhumika.
Now coming to the financial plan. The average cost of installing an electric smart meter is around 735 AED. Keep in mind that this is a long-term investment, and in general, the installation of smart electric meters saves between 5 to 10% in electric bills annually, which adds up over time. On average, buying and installing an ultrasonic flow meter costs 2,571 AED. Like with electric smart meters, this is a long-term investment that requires no maintenance and is much more energy efficient than the normal mechanical flow meters. Over to you, Sania.
Hey, we bet that you thought this was it. Well, we bring to you raffles and draws. Keeping in mind that saving electricity and water would be beneficial to everyone, we would like to introduce the raffles and draws in the DEWA app as an additional feature, where the person who uses the least amount of water and electricity will win. Conditions to join the draw would require one to sign into the DEWA app using the points earned through them and apply for the raffle draw, or they can pay a small amount if there's no points earned. These points are earned through saving electricity and water during the month. And fear not, these points are not hard to achieve. These points can be attained by switching off the devices that consume energy when not used. At the end of every event, the top 3 people will win incentives like 10% off on electricity and water bills, and these prices will change every month. Now over to you, Zaki.
To conclude our project, our team created the efficient bot, unilighter sensor, the staggering 82, and the water-wired smart meter in order to reduce electricity and water usage. Our main goal involved lowering the carbon emissions, and we still aim to provide an eco-friendly and sustainable product. This way, we will lower UAE's carbon footprint. Thereby, we improve the current efficiency of electricity and water meters to reduce the need for labor. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Celestium. Our next team is Team Cyberphobia from GEMS Cambridge International Abu Dhabi. Team, please be ready.
Can we just have a second to share our screen?
No.
Can you see your screen?
Yes, now I can. Okay. All right, I will give you the signal when you're ready to present. All right, Team Cyberphobia, you may proceed.
Good morning to everyone presented on the webinar today. I'm Anisha of Team Cyberphobia from GEMS Cambridge International Abu Dhabi. Our team stands today in front of the panel to introduce Mutassil by DEWA.
Firstly, in order to solve the worldwide issue of water and electricity scarcity, we need to understand the problem and try to solve the matter as innovatively and as soon as possible, especially since the population of the UAE has expanded phenomenally and is promised to grow even further. And since Dubai is such a populated and diverse city with a population of approximately 3.5 million people, and almost all of these people use electricity and water greatly. Approximately 500 liters of water is used per person per day. And as you can see on your left, these are the tariff rates for water and electricity. And as you can see from the graph presented on your right, it demonstrates the amount of electricity used with a 10-year difference and to show how swiftly it has grown and increased over the years. We present DEWA Connected as the all-new advanced and brand new solution for the significant issue. Sensitive ammeter systems and smart water meters will assist us in reducing the wastage of energy and water consumption by monitoring the flow of water, notifying the current levels, and controlling the usage. It'll take the initiative approximately 7 years to be fully complete.
For water, we are using DEWA's current smart water meter devices which generate voltage using magnetic fields and electrodes that surround the pipe, in which the water's velocity then influences the voltage, being then translated to flow rate. Water flow can be monitored using specific sensors, and if there's a continuous stream for a set period of time, such as 30 minutes, the consumers will be notified on the new subsection of the DEWA app, and they will have the option of turning off the running water pipes or taps if it serves no purpose. Or this can be the way for consumers to be notified of a hidden leak, in which case they can call the DEWA Smart Response service provided to have their leakage fixed, quickly reducing the amount of water that's being wasted. For electricity, the Mutassil scheme places a digital sensitive ammeter at the end of each switch. The ammeter measures the current flow. When there is an incomplete circuit, for example an unattended socket switch, the rate of charge that is passed to the ammeter at this point is 0. It sends the information to a data logger, which generates a graph of charge against time, and the circuit is regarded as incomplete when the gradient of the graph is 0. As a result, if this level is met and the time surpasses 180 seconds, the user will be notified via the DEWA app's Mutassil subsection. Similarly, if the time exceeds 300 seconds, the socket's potential divider circuit will disrupt the flow of current and stop the electricity, limiting its wastage. We are also ensuring that the current DEWA app is completely up to date with its revamped features from our Mutassil project. It will also be enhanced to be compatible with newer and more advanced devices and softwares like iOS 15.
Real-time processing data supplied by the DEWA meters can then be used by DEWA employees to keep track of consumer consumption. The app's data can be fed back into the utility, which can then be used to generate invoices and slab tariffs for all users. Data loggers are also used in tandem with narrowband IoT LPWAN technology, which facilitates long-distance connectivity and reduces the speed for expensive components when connecting and transmitting information between IoT devices and deep applications. Users will also be able to use the app to view real-time data with an applied tariff conversion display and adjust their usage appropriately. The Muntasir scheme would be mandatory to all. Thus, partnering with its lack of competitors, it is intended to have a huge market influence. All existing application users would be alerted of the app's upgrade and changed 2 months in advance, which would also provide information on how to pay. We would advertise this using calls and internet marketing.
Sectoral analysis. Political. For the political sector, our initiative will be subjected to DEWA regulations for water and electricity installations and laws regarding the energy consumption by the UAE Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure. Economic. Each household will be charged 200 dirhams with varying prices for businesses. It's also essential to account for other economic factors such as web development and labor costs. Social. As our initiative is mainly focused on reducing energy consumption, it's best to consider trends regarding energy consumption and the loyalty rates of DEWA and its application. Technological. The program monitors electricity with digital sensitive ammeters and water flow with the smart water system. In unattended sockets, the potential device circuits will stop the flow of charge. Data loggers are also utilized in conjunction with the certain IoT technology to provide long-range data transfer and connectivity. Environmental. The DEWA Connected or Muttasil program aims to reduce the use of both electricity and water in Dubai, therefore helping conserve both energy and natural resources, which also helps in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals number 7, 12, and 13. Regarding legal constraints, the consumer trade regulations regarding electricity and water conservation, and the future prospects of regulating laws regarding the implementation of smart systems will have to be considered when implementing programs such as the DEWA Muttasil.
With our aim of making a substantial impact, we hope to influence these 3 Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 7, Affordable and Clean Energy, SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, and SDG 13, Climate Action.
The initiative has numerous strengths. Firstly, the device prevents the unnecessary wastage of electricity when people leave their switches turned on. The initiative ensures people are more responsible when using electricity and waters in their homes. Moreover, the service is a safety feature that will protect residents' homes and provide a sense of security even when leaving the house. Countless people get anxious over whether they have left any appliances turned on in the house. DEWA Muttasil will instill a sense of security and assurance that their home is safe. The response to the water leakage guarantees customer satisfaction with its fast and efficient action to solve the issue. There would be a significant decrease in the number of workers required and also lowers cost of paying employees. No pioneering idea comes without its flaws. DEWA Muttasil can make people very reliant on technology to remind them to turn off appliances. The time span of incorporating the service in every house in Dubai is also quite long, which means it will take a while before the results start to manifest. The service will be mandatory for all houses. This maximizes the amount of electricity saved and the protection provided throughout the city. It can also be promoted and advertised as a method to help reach the UAE's Environment Vision 2030 goals, as it respects the 3 pillars of sustainability, environment, and economy. An issue regarding the water meter system could be that it detects small drops of water leaking from around the house. The notifications might disturb customers as it could be a harmless leak. There is always a danger when using electrical appliances. Nevertheless, it is reduced immensely when using the ammeter system. The financial plan. The initial investment is approximately around 10 to 15 billion dirhams. This can be obtained from the government as it is an emirate-wide scheme. As this is a mandatory installment for all households, the marketing budget is a relatively small amount of 15 million dirhams. The combined expenses of producing and installing this is an estimated 8 to 9 billion dirhams. The main costs include labor costs, which is about 200,000 dirhams per annum, app development costs that are approximately 500,000 dirhams, other office expenses round off to 250,000 per year. Cash inflow would be 150-80 from the electrical package and 50-80 from the water package, giving a combined 200 dirhams for the entire package. Approximately 700,000 installations are possible based on Dubai's 3.5 million population. The low cost and high abundance of people allows us to hit break-even quicker. We truly hope that this idea inspires you to be a responsible citizen. Once again, thank you for listening. Signing off, Cyberphobia.
Thank you, Cyberphobia. Our next team is Team Alpha I. Team Alpha I, we will begin your presentation shortly.
Yeah, thank you.
Team Alpha I, your video presentation will begin now.
Alpha want to create an online marketplace for consumer goods that use significant amount of electricity and water, ranging from light bulbs to air conditioning units. This service has a few key features. It allows for individual businesses to sell products as sellers. The sellers will have to go through strenuous standards to be allowed on the service. This is beneficial as it reduces the need for DEWA personnel to go from house to house because of faulty devices. Any household item that accounts for significant water or electrical usage can be sold. The main selling point of all products is their efficiency and sustainability. This platform will calculate using data that DEWA already collects about your usage, the average savings you get from using this product from your current DEWA bill. This is because as well as reducing the cost for the consumer, it reduces the amount of water and electricity used, lowering the overall average. DEWA can partner with certain businesses to advertise their products first, as well as use information to target customers based on their likely needs, such as if they have family or dependents. DEWA can also provide support pages where consumers can contact directly with the manufacturer, so there is less demand for DEWA technicians to arrive for minor issues. To demonstrate our point, we have created a working model of the website. As you can see here, the person is signing in with their UAE pass. This is so that the DEWA website can access more data about them. When they sign in, they can see the catalog of different options available, as well as the categories available. They can then click into individual products to see more info about them. And then once they decide to purchase a product, they can add it to their cart, and they will also see the savings that they get from their DEWA bill. This is beneficial as it encourages people to use more efficient products. This user is also using the support page. The support page is a place for users to talk about their products with the representatives of the companies that they purchased them from. And this is beneficial as it reduces the need for DEWA personnel from intervening in trivial matters to do with water and electrical usage. To prove the necessity of our product, we have conducted our own survey to see that 3 out of every 4 consumers aren't aware of the efficiency of their products. This suggests that the efficiency ratings aren't currently being centered as selling points and that homeowners are wasting unnecessarily. This is in part due to 70% of consumers buying these products physically in store, where they don't have time to research into the efficiency of their products. But despite this, a majority, 56% of people surveyed are unhappy with their current spending with DEWA bills. By having customers use more efficient products, we lower DEWA bills, which will make customers happy. This product is very much so feasible as it uses existing technology that other retailers use, specifically CMS or content management software, which allows us to catalog, create, record, and use pricing strategies. It also isn't unprecedented for people to use online services in the UAE, as 9 out of 10 people are willing to purchase products online according to our own survey. So here is the financial plan. We expect variable cost per unit to be 875 based on estimates by e-commerce warehouses in the UAE, which include picking, packing, storing, and transporting items. The fixed costs include web hosting and maintenance for a large e-commerce website, which will equal around 11,000 per month. The revenue per item will include the cost for the seller, which is around 4 dirhams, and a referral fee, which we calculated by multiplying the average order amount, which is around 110, by the average referral fee, which is around 8% in the market. We also calculated startup costs, which will include things like design and website development, which will equal around 73,000. Because of this, we can expect to break even at 2,095 units, excluding startup costs.
Some of the major competitors for online retailing in Dubai are known Amazon and the Dubai store. However, these online platforms do not specialize in the retail of electronics, making our website highly differentiated. Our website implements rare features such as the savings column, which aims to further increase the flow of information between suppliers and the consumers, meaning that our website can become trusted and benefit from a growing and loyal customer base. We also plan on personalizing the website for every user, which again is an advantage. In websites such as Amazon, anyone is free to advertise their products even without a license, creating trust issues among its consumers. Our website prevents that, since it will be an approved website by the government and of course DEWA, on which only legally entitled suppliers can sell their products for a cheap price. This way our website can become a hub for selling and buying sustainable electronic products.
Here is our pestle analysis.
One of our major aims is to build a trust and connection between the consumers and the suppliers. In order for this to happen, we need an official and legal platform which is approved by the government to build trust among our website surfers. Furthermore, to conduct e-commerce activities in the UAE, we need a license which needs to be approved by the Telecommunications and Digital Government Regulatory Authority in Dubai. Although this might pose an additional cost and be time-consuming, it is an important step for the future success of our website. Moreover, our website will comply with the goal number 12 from Sustainable Development Goals, which is responsible consumption and production. It seeks to increase sustainable consumption and production, which will benefit the environment on a larger scale. Our website will allow consumers to individually monitor their consumption by reviewing products for efficient consumption of electricity and water. Consumers will now be able to consume electricity and water with the satisfaction that their spending decisions are leading us one step closer to reducing harm to the environment. With our website, we predict that domestic suppliers will be able to benefit the most. Due to the rapid developments in technology, many people prefer to buy their appliances online, and some domestic suppliers fail to provide a platform for their products due to maintenance costs. Our website will act as a joint platform for such sellers and help them become more recognized across Dubai. Over a period of time, if domestic electronic products succeed in providing good quality for a cheap price, the demand for imports may fall, which can help UAE gain a current account surplus and pay off any national debts, which were approximately 20.9% of the GDP in 2018. Our website also will help consumers save a high proportion of their spending, meaning that they will have more disposable income to spend in the economy, which will drive aggregate demand and benefit other industries as well. Overall, the aggregate demand in the economy will rise without the opportunity cost of environmental protection.
For the social, the DEWA marketplace will allow buyers and sellers to communicate with each other impeccably while having a trusted platform to communicate through. The users can ensure and trust the products sold on the marketplace as they will be quality controlled and authentic, which is why the buyers won't have to worry about getting scammed. They can trust this website and easily rely on it. Moreover, individual bills for DEWA would begin to fall for our users, and they would be able to use their appliance and be satisfied with their spending decisions. Usually, every month, many users get frustrated when viewing their electricity and water consumption and flustered about what they can do to reduce their bills. Our website will allow them to live a more content life, knowing that they are benefiting from decreasing the bills and also helping the environment at the same time. Technological. With the rapid development in technology, communication through the internet has become faster than ever. Moreover, in these times, people have been highly relying on marketplaces to buy most of their goods, necessities included. Therefore, our idea will help them get sustainable, DEWA quality approved products, any household item that accounts for significant water or electricity usage. This will be attainable, feasible, reasonable, and a faster way for them to get household products at a good price and quality, which will ultimately help them in maximizing their benefits.
And in accordance with the UAE consumer law, the DEWA marketplace must dedicate a fair amount of its resources into putting out detailed information about the products and policies. And well, as with e-commerce, consumers' privacy will be at risk, so there must be also a fair amount of resources dedicated into protecting data and private information and refraining suppliers from using this for marketing purposes in accordance with the UAE National Consumer Law. Now, the main environmental effects from e-commerce mainly focus on resources, energy, and pollution, and the impact of those appear to be positive. Offline shopping results in between 1.5 and 2.9 times more greenhouse gas emissions than online shopping, and although they need delivery vehicles to circulate, it does reduce car traffic by between 4 and 9 times the amount they generate. The land use is much lower, and when selling, and parking spaces are accounted for. But the UAE has a very hot and arid climate, and this would likely result in emissions greater than usual, mainly from delivery vehicles, as workers naturally don't want to spend time outside their vehicles due to the very hot climate. This, however, can be mitigated using electric fans, but it will be very costly and will be considered once a significant amount of retained profit has been acquired.
These are the references that we use throughout the presentation, but other than that, thank you for listening, and that's it from Alphi.
Thank you, Alphi. Our last presenting team of the DEWA BCC is Dr. Frost from the English College. Before we proceed, let's just hold on for a minute. Team Dr. Frost, your video presentation will begin now.
Good morning, judges and fellow competitors. Today we'll be introducing a proposal for the cloud SCADA hosting software. We'll be representing the English College today, and here is our team members.
We will use the industrial Internet of Things to reduce electricity and water usage, as well as improving the overall energy efficiency. We will do this by implementing a newer and better infrastructure for the software called the Cloud Hosting SCADA system. The current system which the UA uses is called the traditional SCADA system, which uses sensors to collect data and act upon it using appropriate software. However, this is not cost effective. It doesn't take full use of the sensors. It requires high maintenance and very poor cybersecurity, and although it boasts the data being real time, the report is a day or so old most of the time. Our new cloud-based SCADA system will solve this by shifting all the data to the cloud, which can be accessed and controlled through web-enabled devices. This has many benefits such as no on-site servers, maximum data storages, maximum communication and accessibility of data in general, decreases data transmission time, minimizes downtime since it is a self-healing software, removes the need of unspecialized on-site IT technicians, much more secure, and since it is software-based, it can be much more customizable and bespoke to DEWA. Software will be bespoke to DEWA, and the uses and will be brought from a company who provide cloud-based SCADA systems called XIO. This is the only major corporation that focuses on cloud-based SCADA to control water and electricity usage. This can be coupled with machine learning and the numerous different sensors to adapt to our smart electricity and water system plan. Furthermore, our cloud infrastructure will include edge computing. This is a smaller cloud which will be located close to central points where data from the sensors will be collected. This is more cost-effective and also reduces the data transmission times, meaning in theory there will be a better response time to hazards such as power line damages or water pipe bursts and leaks. This means that water and electricity will be saved. These smaller edge clouds can handle local issues such as invalid or extraneous data without the need of sending it to the central control system. This can make problem solving as well as time management much more efficient. In addition, this can allow for better automated process and is more flexible towards expansion of the infrastructural hardware, such as adding more sensors or new IoT device to the ecosystem. This can also allow for better data analysis since different edge clouds can share data through the network. The results of these will go to the central cloud, and this will eventually improve machine learning since there's an increase in statistical data. This will also massively improve cybersecurity because the edge computing can send alerts to the main cloud when it is facing a threat. This system will allow for more efficient and water and electricity production and usage. All the already existing IoT devices can be connected to the new system via the internet and can therefore be improved since sensor software and drivers will be better and more accurate. IoT devices include smart water meters, smart electrical extensions, smart water pumps, as well as smart grids, and all of these will be connected to the edge and main cloud. Electricity and water can be saved by using predictive analytics such as predictive maintenance and predictive downtime, along with better machine learning for more human-like and efficient outputs and decisions.
Political impacts. Parallel to the increase in demand for electrical and water conservation technology, it has provided us with the necessary municipal use of our infrastructure due to growing concern for environmental awareness. This can lead to an influence on the political spectrum. The further emphasis on government aims to instigate policies and legislation is correlated to our design by decreasing electrical and water consumption in rural areas with the aid of our technology. In retrospect, failing to conserve water and electricity can potentially lead to an insufficient water supply, which can have major political impacts. This includes rising costs, reduced food supply due to the lack of irrigation, and ultimately political conflict. However, the conservation efforts will be supplemented by initiatives made by passing necessary laws that are subjected to our development which aim to reduce these issues. This will eventually lead to major political impacts such as changing national policy regarding conservation, efficient water allocation to rural areas, which decreases water and electrical wastage, and potential corporations between nations to join, which can boost globalization.
The first economic benefit of this will directly impact DEWA, as an increase in efficiency and a lower cost of production will mean that DEWA will be able to meet increased aggregate supply and meet consumer demand. A reduction in cost will lead to a higher disposable income for people, which will increase consumer spending and increase government revenue from taxes. Injections into the economy will be seen from a greater consumer spending, as well as an increase in foreign direct investment, as lower living costs attract a greater number of people to come into the buy. This will help reduce unemployment, as this investment will help create jobs. Businesses will also benefit from lower production costs because of DEWA becoming a lot more efficient in water and electricity provision. This will allow them to expand and spend their money somewhere else. In this day and age, minimizing water and electricity consumption has become a social responsibility for everyone. A benefit of us helping DEWA to become more efficient in their provision of water and electricity is that the amount of water saved could be used in a better way to help others in the world, and altogether will help strengthen the community and society that we live in. With our advancements in technology and helping DEWA minimize consumption, we will also be providing other benefits to consumers, such as an increase in health, because our new system will also monitor the pH and mineral levels of water to make sure it is right for the people it is being provided to. Another social impact that will be seen is an improvement in convenience for the consumers, and this is because there will be a reduction in the amount of workers coming in and from people's homes to check the meters, as our new smart meters will be able to cover this. This will help improve the standards of living for consumers and also make their lifestyles more modern and better, as it helps them implement the latest technologies into their lives.
So for technology, we're going to be using smart grids. They use various sensors such as voltage, power, and current to deliver optimum electrical energy to different areas and times in Dubai as the demand of electricity changes. This can be improved by adding in the smart extension, which, as mentioned earlier, can measure the different parts of a house's electrical usage. This data can then be sent to a local cloud and be compared with other local edge clouds to give more bespoke and specific data. This data can then be sent to the main cloud to improve machine learning and be used to improve the smart grid in general, as the power supply can be varied even more. This means there will be less electrical waste coming from the user side, and even if there is, they can be sent back to the grid to be reused. Predictive maintenance can also be used. This uses sensors to detect when a power line will go down or if any other hardware pieces will malfunction, and can send it to the edge cloud, which can compare the data with the other edge cloud storages and send it to the main cloud, which will then take the precautionary measures to fix it. Downtime can also be predicted with this new software since it is self-healing, so it can detect when it will malfunction or crash. This data can be sent as an alert to the main cloud, and the experts can fix this before it happens. This reduces unnecessary waste of money and potentially water and electricity. Since if the software fails, then the readings and data for the water and electricity management will fluctuate, thus producing less or more water than needed. This software crash can also damage machine learning, which will have a detrimental domino effect.
So cloud hosting contains sensors integrated within the plumbing systems that collect data and analyze things such as what times there is peak and low water consumption. In addition, these sensors can alert when there is damage or faults in the pipes. This technology brings about a range of benefits, such as reducing the amount of water wasted. A response is initiated as soon as sensors detect fault and damages within the pipes. It slows down or stops the flow of water depending on the severity of the damage, and sends alerts to maintenance teams. It also reduces the amount of excess water which is discharged during times of low water consumption, such as during midnight. It prevents the contamination of fresh and salt water of harmful chemicals, in turn preventing harming biodiversity. As water scarcity is an important issue in current times, steps like these can save lots of water from being wasted, and will also bring us inches away from reaching our net zero emissions goal.
Legal impact. The legal framework of our newly refined technology provides much more advancements that prevents the concern of cybersecurity within the infrastructure. Number one, reinforces data protection. Since the data is stored on the cloud, this gives a reinforced status to any valued prospects within the development, for example, water and electricity. Secondly, decreases cybercrime. Managing cybersecurity is a complex challenge that requires interdisciplinary risk-based approaches. However, the cloud is adopted with an encrypted storage system that translates any information and data into a sophisticated code. This data is located through a secure tunnel, which is managed by cyber experts, therefore making it extremely challenging to breach, thus minimizing any potential threats in the future for cybercrime. Finally, we know that cyber risk is one of the top priorities that faces water and electrical facilities in the UAE. With the cloud, its critical purpose is to protect public health and safety, and we aim to ensure this by decreasing water wastage.
Our business plan has two main components, our aims and our objective. Our aims are decreasing water and electricity usage and to reduce energy. Our four main objectives are to stay ahead of the competition, to increase our market share, to drive a team cooperation and collaboration within the business, and to use profits to raise capital or strengthen our business. In our financial plan, we'll be targeting a mass market of the water and electricity industry, meaning internal economies of scale is important in driving down costs for our products and our services. This means that economies of scale arise when cost per unit fall, as the output increases because buying in greater quantities result in a lower price. This is known as bulk buying. We're currently in the research and development stage of our product lifecycle and focusing on having introduction phase in the first quarter of 2022. When extension strategy is needed, then we will use new advancements in technology to make our software more efficient and reliable. DEWA can currently afford a proposal as it is feasible to add this to the water and electricity grid. However, since this is a government project, there won't be any profits being made. It costs around 367,300 dirhams for the setup for the CHS and 900 dirhams per spot type sensors and 1,100 for each pressure sensors. We'll implement the sensors in proximity to the water pipes, adding up to a total cost of 1,165,367,300 for the initial year. Here is a table showing what we're going to be doing in the next 4 years. There are no direct profits out of this project, but it has many indirect profits, such as fewer maintenance fees, as there will be fewer leakages since we're preventing the causation of these leaks, fewer repairs of the pipes underground, fewer pump managements due to AI with machine learning being involved. More investors investing into this sense will advertise how Dubai is the most efficient and paving way to a more modern and secure way of water and electricity. The forecasted units derive from the notion that fewer pipes will be built in the future, so fewer sensors and pumps will be required.
Existing and future competitors. In regards to the backbone of the idea, which is the Cloud SCADA Hosting Software, or CHS for short, there's only one major corporation that excels in producing a cloud-based platform which reduces water and electricity consumption, as well as its efficiency, which is the company XIO. However, DEWA will be acquiring the framework of XIO's cloud-based software, the most up-to-date, technologically safe, and secure cloud hosting base available on the market. This effectively eliminates the only possible competition that DEWA would face. In addition, taking into account the fact that DEWA is government-owned and would not be competing with private corporations anyways, it further solidifies the notion that DEWA CHS will be a revolutionary piece of software in Dubai. Moving on, the Smart Extension is an innovative product that is not available for purchase anywhere else. With its functionality being limited to only working with the CHS, normal extension cords will not be competing with this, yet again meaning there is no direct competition. The remaining add-ons, which are the Smart Pump, the Smart Meter, and the Smart Grid, are all pre-existing ideas that are already in use in the UAE, but with limited success and range. DEWA will be the first to implement these products in a wide scale in the UAE. In the future, it's expected that other corporations will follow in the footsteps of DEWA, who will ultimately be the leading competition for other startups and government-owned companies. Then there's market share and market penetration. Due to the increasing rate of technological advancements, the global SCADA system market is growing at an exponential rate. The Asia-Pacific region shows the highest compound annual growth rate of 7.2% from 2016 to the projected growth in 2023. The market is dominated by North American and Asian corporations. However, global cloud SCADA hosting systems are on the rise. DEWA's mass marketing scheme, coupled with it acquiring the basic framework of the most up-to-date and advanced cloud-based software in the world from XIO, as well as offering a section in the DEWA app that alerts the owner of issues, updates, and data of electrical and water consumption, making it appealing to the public and marketable. All of this will allow DEWA to completely dominate the global market and significantly improve the Middle East contribution to the global SCADA systems market.
Thank you, and good luck to all the other groups involved.
Well done, teams. We have now concluded the presentations of the grand finale of DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2021. We shall now proceed to take a 15-minute break to reconvene with the judges and be back with the winner's announcement. All the best and well done once again, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. We have the winner's details with us. But before we proceed, I'd like to request Mr. Jay Kumar, our chief guest and judge of the finale, to share a few words with the competing teams.
Yeah, thank you very much for all judges and students. So I think it is a fantastic. I am not thought this is coming from the school students, higher secondary school students, because a lot of ideas are very good, innovative, and then they done that exhaustive work on that investment plan and then strategy. It is a very nice, fantastically. I thought all are equally good, but few people did some of that. They are not fully completed that way only. Otherwise, all are equally. They come up with very, very, very good ideas are coming up. It is very useful for even DEWA also. It is a very good for us. Few things about our DEWA, I think no somebody understood or not. So basically, whatever a lot of ideas they given, the energy meter, those things already in a DEWA exist. So some if you go and see the DEWA login, you can able to see that sustainability, what are the green points, everything. Automatically, every bills having that all the details, how much CO2 emission, everything, they are giving the very complete detail. And then another things, if you go to that DEWA application, one of that program called the smart living things. So that the smart living things, especially some of the ideas, the people, they put it right. So basically we are comparing the houses between the same similar houses, size, everything we are comparing, and then we giving that recommendation where you are, how we can able to do that, those kind of things. Still few things are, because we can't able to go individual people, the working culture or life culture, right? There were only some problem is there. Otherwise, we are also ready to give that information, your air conditioning, more kind of thing. So that way, next level, especially there were only, I am coming from the DEWA R&D. So basically, I am head of IoT. Our current program, so even in a 2022, we are current program, especially few things I want to highlight here. One is that solar generation. I think you are aware. So all the people, our solar park, innovation solar park, big solar park. So now currently it is made that 200 megawatt power. So in 2030, we are planning for something 500 megawatt power. So already the DEWA initiated that way, going for that innovation sustainability goal. And then second is that I think even our program SDME, nowadays you can able to see that, right? Solar Decathlon Middle East program is going on. Now all are requested to go and visit that. So basically around some 8 houses they are building from the different university. Globally, they are coming, building, they are giving the sustainability goals, how we improve, otherwise efficient in the house thing, how we can increase that solar energy programs. So those things, if you, this is now, I think next to 1 week, it is open for public. They can able to go and visit that houses, the 8 houses, we can able to see that different big university there came and then done that. So that is another thing. Second way, the smart living program also next level growing up. We are working on that different AI algorithm, and then big data, cloud algorithm, those things also, that new latest innovation technology, everything we are bringing up. They are doing that better job. So our R&D is focusing on solar, the home energy, how energy efficiency improvement, and then even we have that like a kind of advanced material. So especially the floating battery, basically wherever we are having the solar, right? Again, it is the solar production will be happened in that daytime. So, but we need to store it. That time we can't able to consume it fully. So there again, we need to go to store it in that storage. So again, we are working on the different storage technique, those things in that whatever smart grid, those things also, it is coming up very new way. So that way I am very happy. Thanks for opportunity to Curtin University to I am as one of the judge. Thank you very much. Very good organization. The program also well defined, organized, better way. I thanks to everybody in that Curtin University. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jayakumar. Before we proceed, I would like to once again thank our sponsors, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority and the Transnational Academic Group. This competition and day of learning would not have been possible without your support. I would now like to invite Mr. Daniel Atkins, CEO of Transnational Academic Group, head of the judging panel and the game master, to firstly announce next year's theme of the competition and the much awaited results.
Okay, before we announce next year's theme, I want to thank the esteemed panel of judges I had an honor to work with. Engineer Jayakumar was fantastic. He had great ideas, and of course, he has a tremendous knowledge of what's already going on in the industry, what's going on with DEWA, and it has been a tremendous honor and a really wonderful thing to have him on the judging panel and get to work with him. I hope that we're able to repeat that in the future. Saleh Ismail has been part of the Curtin Dubai team essentially since the start of Curtin Dubai and did a tremendous amount of work marking the cases in the first 3 rounds. So he's been through this a lot, and I really appreciate his incredible depth of knowledge in the area of IT and technology that he was able to bring to the judging panel as well. I really want to thank our sponsors. DEWA has been with us for a number of years now as the title sponsor and continues to be a great partner with us. We really have the utmost respect for what DEWA is doing toward making the carbon footprint and the energy usage of the UAE greatly reduced so that we can deal with climate change and have a better world to pass on to our children and grandchildren. DEWA is really to be commended as a world leader in these areas, especially when it comes to the smart meters and the generation of electricity through solar. Want to also thank Transnational Academic Group and Curtin University Dubai for all that they have done for this competition. As competitors, you may not realize the amount of effort that goes into this, but imagine if you were tasked with marking 168 2,000-word presentations every week. And that's what the team did, along with all of the other coordination, keeping track of who was on the teams, all of the marketing and advertising about this to get people excited about joining, all of the coordination with everything the teams needed. You know, Everil today gets to be the face of the team as the MC, and Karishni did last week, but there are literally about a dozen or more people who have spent the past month and a half working on this almost nonstop, and I want to recognize them and thank them for all of that effort. So now let's go ahead and talk about next year. Every year, as you know, we give you a teaser about what the topic is for next year in the hope that it gives you a whole year to think about it and get prepared. So the topic for the DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2022 is going to be sustainability. The UAE and with the wisdom of our leaders is really leading the world in commitments to sustainability, with a commitment at the COP26 climate conference that just ended to become carbon neutral by 2050. because we live in the greatest country in the world and one that is truly focused on making the world a better place and leading the way in how to do that, we're going to focus on sustainability next year, and you'll get to come up with your best ideas of how we can make the world livable for not only our generation, but for all generations to come. So I'm looking forward to seeing the creative solutions that you come up with in next year's challenge. So now, without further ado, we will get to the winners of this year's DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2021. And as Engineer Jayakumar mentioned, this was a tough competition. It was extremely close. There was a lot of discussion around how the marking was done, but we finally came to a consensus, and we are ready to let you know who the second runner-up, first runner-up, and then the winner is for this year. So the second runner-up in this year's competition is the Ringmasters from Jim's Wellington Academy, Silicon Oasis. Congratulations. Okay, and now the first runner-up. And again, it was an extremely tight competition. The first runner-up was Falcon Vision from the American School of Dubai. Congratulations. And now the grand prize winner in the DEWA Business Cup Challenge 2021. It is Team Passwords from Jim's Wellington Academy, Silicon Oasis. Congratulations. So thank you so much to all of the teams. You all distinguished yourself in this competition and should walk away extremely proud of what you have done. And with that, I will pass it back over to Ms. Everill.
Thank you, Mr. Dan. As Michael Jordan said, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Congratulations to all the teams that have put their minds and might together. Each of you have emerged a winner through the zeal you've expressed. The BCC organizing teams will get in touch with the participants with the tokens of recognition for your hard work. To facilitate the winners of the round, we have organized an award day on December 6th. The BCC organizers will be in touch with further details. Until then, stay tuned and stay safe. Get cracking for the 2022 edition the sustainable way.